Welcome, food travelers. I'm Micah.
And I'm Simon. We made our way down to Epcot here in Florida. We wanted to catch the Food and Wine Festival that's held annually at Epcot, and we are excited to see what they have.
That's right, Simon. It's also their 50th anniversary celebration happening right now.
It's been quite a while since we last came here, Micah, and I'm curious with all the different changes they have and what they have to offer. It'll be exciting to see what's out there, especially with this Food and Wine Festival, because we have at the World Showcase a whole bunch of different pop-up stands with food from different regions and countries that are represented at the World Showcase. It will be great to try them out.
One of the places I'm really excited to try for the French food, since we love French food. I'm also very excited to see if they will incorporate the 50th anniversary celebration into their kiosk stands here. So the first ride, we head over to Soarin. It's a flight simulator that goes above the land and water. It goes over all the many attractions throughout the world.
Yeah, this is a very popular ride, Micah. I really enjoy this. I remember the first one that opened up in California, and that was Soarin, California. This is a similar ride. However, they do the around the world rather than just a certain spot, and in this case, not just Florida itself.
Yeah, that's correct, Simon. This one does go around the world. As you see in the ride spoiler here, it does go to the different attractions like Switzerland, Greenland, Sydney, Germany, the Great Wall in China. There's also the Pyramid of Egypt, the Taj Mahal in India, the Eiffel Tower in Paris, and then we end up back in Epcot with the fireworks.
And as you can see, there are also kind of spots that are located in Disney itself, as you can see, like the Matterhorn there, and other locations that you can go to. It's one of these really relaxing rides. One of the things I do enjoy, it's that, I guess you could call it somewhat 4D, where they have some smells, like this African savanna. You'll see that you can have a shot of smell of kind of the grass that is in the area. One of the things I can remember from the California version was, as you fly through the oranges, you just get this burst of citrus smell, and I thought that was always great.
I do really enjoy those extra scents that they add into the ride. Unfortunately, with this ride, we do have to keep our mask on, so it does mask kind of a lot of the smells that you get to smell throughout the ride.
I was okay. I still smelled what they had here, so I guess it's kind of dependent on what kind of mask you have also, and your strength of smell. But overall, it's one of those rides where it's very relaxing out of your day, especially if your feet is tired and you just want to sit for a little bit. Definitely a ride I would recommend going on.
And also, if you are afraid of heights, this could be a ride that you may not enjoy, because you do get suspended in the air, kind of like a simulation, and you do fly around and soar around too. You do feel the wind that they have, which is the fan, of course.
Yeah, and as we approach kind of towards the end of the ride, from what I believe, it was the kind of a new ending, and you can see it's the fireworks that are shot up at Epcot during the nighttime show.
Yeah, the fireworks show does replicate the real thing quite well. I really enjoyed this ending. I thought they did a really, really good touch to this.
Yeah, it's very enjoyable, and as you can see, they have a little shot that represents Mickey and his ears with the fireworks. Pretty awesome. And after we finished Soarin', we actually had reservations at a restaurant called Coral Reef, and it's a unique restaurant. Just a reminder that you have to make reservations at all these restaurants now at Disney, as the space, not so much limited, but limited in the sense that because of all the pandemic items, that you just have to make sure you have a spot there before they let you go in and eat.
Yeah, with this restaurant, even though we did have the reservations, they still made us wait for I don't know what reason. We did wait for about 10 minutes before they let us sit into the restaurant. One thing I do like about this restaurant is the themed restaurant that you get with the Coral Reef, with the carpets, the ceiling, the lighting that you saw here, and everything's just the coral itself.
Yeah, I agree, Mike. I was a little disappointed that we had reservations and then we actually had to wait a bit longer to take a seat. And kind of what made it even more disappointing was there was a group that actually had reservations that were much later than the day, and they made a mistake and came early, and it was nice of Disney to actually go seat them, but the fact that they got seated before us and we were just waiting and waiting and waiting, and even though there was multiple staff, that kind of was a bad start.
I agree. That was definitely a bad start to the whole experience overall. That pretty much just set the tone for the restaurant. Like even though we were set it down, it took a while just for the servers to come by to take our order or to even check up on us. They never really checked on us if we wanted more water or anything.
And for my order, I actually had the lobster bisque, which you saw earlier, and the shrimp and grits.
Yeah, I had the same thing. I had the shrimp and grits. I did not have the lobster bisque. The shrimp and grits, it was a cheesy grits, which is good, but I just thought they had so much sauce on there that it kind of just overpowered everything.
And for the lobster bisque, it was okay. I thought it was a bit on the salty side. I kind of preferred something that wasn't as salty as it was, but it was a decent one. But there are other better lobster bisques you can find. As for the shrimp and grits as well, you know, as Micah said, it was okay. I've had other ones that I enjoyed much more, and in this case, the shrimp and grits it seemed more on the saucy, oily side than what I'm used to, and so I can say it was an okay dish.
I think one thing to mention that we haven't spoken about is the aquarium. I mean, everyone who comes here, they come here for the aquarium. You do see the sharks, sea turtles. Supposedly there's scuba divers too. Unfortunately, we did not see any of those scuba divers. And here we have the dessert. The dessert is one of their 50th anniversary items, which is a key lime pie.
And I've been to the Florida Keys and I've had some really great key lime pie. This one, again, a little underwhelming. It wasn't quite as good as hoping it would be, especially for a 50th anniversary. It's kind of with that usual Disney fare where it's just kind of over sweet, and so you get that burst of sugar and kind of overwhelmed with the sweetness, and you know you have to take your time eating the dessert.
I agree. I think the theme dessert for the 50th anniversary was done really well. It's pretty to look at. Tasteful, not so much. Not great on your taste.
Yeah, absolutely. Presentation wise, they're always top notch, and it looks great. But you know, other than that, I couldn't really recommend it if it's still available. It's something where you could find a better place. Like usual, after any large meal, we had to go walk off the food. And, you know, with those large portions they do have at the Coral Reef restaurant, we walked around the World Showcase.
Yeah, it was nice to walk around and burn off all that food that we had before eating more food.
And one of the things we wanted to see was kind of around the lake, which has the fireworks show at night, and as throughout the day they're preparing for that show, which I was excited to see.
Yeah, that fireworks show is something I would recommend. And as you can see here in the video, you can see the gondola. It is kind of a newer attraction for the park itself. Unfortunately, we did not get a chance to ride on it, and we're here headed over to France now.
Just to clarify a little bit, the gondola is actually just a transportation device and not a ride itself. It actually takes certain hotel guests from one of the Disney parks hotels and actually transports it between there and Epcot, which is pretty cool.
So after walking around, we did end up in France right now. This is part of the International Food Festival Quick Serve. I was really excited to try this one since we do love French food. One of the items that I got was the cheese beignets and also the crème brulee with Grand Marnier wine or liquor as they call it.
And unfortunately for me, I was still very, very full, so I couldn't fit any more space with more food, and so Micah had to go and try these ones out without me.
Yeah, with those beignets, you do it's supposedly having like 3 different cheeses inside. As you can see, the bread here, they do also have that baked cheese on top. It was kind of hard. I wouldn't say it was a soft beignet as you usually get from like those sweet ones. There was a lot of cheese inside. I thought the cheese was a little bit on the thick side, kind of like when you have biscuits and gravy. It was just kind of like a gravy thickness or texture of that cheese. And then the creme brulee, I thought they could have done a better job doing the sugar on top. I thought that part was kind of disappointment to me, the burnt sugar. Overall flavor, I think it could have tasted better. It was nothing too special. It wasn't nothing memorable.
After Micah enjoyed his snacks, we ended up walking a little bit more. I still had to burn off some additional food, and of course Micah, with his additional food, had to burn off those even more. So we ended up walking around and headed towards each of the different regional locations that the World Showcase has, which I think is pretty cool because you get to kind of see different architectural concepts that are taken from around the world in each section. So as you can see here, we're kind of walking to Japan, and you can see pretty much a Japanese castle as we're walking through in the gates of it.
Yeah, this whole lake is about 3 miles long. I actually recorded the whole thing while we were recording it through GPS because I was kind of curious how big it actually was.
And as you can see out here, that everybody's kind of enjoying all the different sceneries and the things that are provided in each section. Here we ended up being in, well, this is the Morocco section.
Yeah, this is the Morocco section. I thought they did a really good job with this one. It was really, really pretty.
Yeah, it's just one of those unique things being here where you get to see just, different architecture around the world, and it's not exactly what it is, but you get a pretty good replica with what Disney provides. So it's really enjoyable.
And then here we have China here. It is really, really similar to the actual piece in China. I actually sent this picture to a friend and she thought I was in China.
Yeah, that's one of the things that Disney always does so well, is that they send out their Imagineers and they go out and they actually go see the real thing, and they come and bring it back, and then it helps you to feel like you're there. And one of these little cool spots here is this little train. They have this kind of mini train section that you can kind of walk through and see as the trains go around this little tiny town. This is up close to, I believe, the Italy section. We didn't get too much film of Italy itself, but we had to go find some more food.
So after some walking around and burning off food, we headed down to get more snacks at Funnel Cakes.
Yeah, since we walked that good 3 miles around, I finally got hungry a little bit again, and we went to have these funnel cakes that I remember we had this way back when we came here a long time ago, at least over 10 years ago, with some friends of ours, and we had to try it again.
Yeah, funnel cakes was something that was on my bucket list. I really wanted to get these again. I'm really glad we did find this spot and we got some more. I remember the same thing. We also got it with vanilla ice cream on top.
Yeah, Mike, it's just one of those park food fare that is always just really good. You can't do too much wrong with it, but it's always enjoyable, nice, sweet, crispy, and creamy, delicious.
It's something that's very consistent throughout the years. I just remember how it was when we got it a long time ago too.
So after the funnel cakes, we actually went to another ride called Mission Space, which now in hindsight was a mistake because I got a lot of motion sickness and it did not make me feel very good at all.
Yeah, Mission Space was horrible. I do not recommend that ride for anybody who would hate motion sickness or anything related to that. It was probably one of the worst rides I've ever had.
Part of that is also our fault because they have two actually sections. They have an easy one and a hard one, and we both went on to the harder one, which was a mistake, as I said. But after that ride, we weren't feeling well, and we decided to go on to Spaceship Earth, which is the very first ride near the entrance and in the Epcot Globe.
Yeah, Spaceship Earth is a ride that's kind of easy paced.
Very slow going.
Yeah, very slow going. It travels through time, and it kind of asks you questions of where you're from and how you see your future. And throughout the ride, it kind of showcases the landmarks moments through technology. And then because of your questionnaire, it gives you like the future, what your future projection should look like.
And that ended up pretty much the first part of our day. Since we weren't feeling well, we decided we got to go back to the hotel and kind of rest a bit before we came back later that night to Epcot. And unfortunately for this episode, this first half of Epcot, we just didn't find anything that was really notable that we could kind of put up to kind of showcase for you guys to see. And so we have none for this episode.
And to support our channel, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for the YouTube algorithm. And for more photos, follow us on Instagram. See you guys on the next episode.